Hi guys, Taylor,
I'm Marlena.
I'm Larry.
I'm Joaquin.
and we are the group In to Win. Today we're going to be talking to you about the case Mossner versus Atlantic City Country Club. Now we're going to go to our stat guy Larry for a quick statistic.
Did you know the chances of winning the national lottery jackpot is nearly 1 in 14 million? The odds of getting attacked and killed by a shark are 1 in nearly 4 million, while the chances of getting struck by lightning are 1 in almost 1 million. And this is exactly what happened to Spencer von Mossner.
It was approximately 7:30 a.m. on Sunday, March 28th, 1993. It was a regular morning for Spencer Van Mossner and his three friends, Michael, Robert, and Peter, who all headed out to the local Atlantic City Country Club to play a round of golf. Spencer Van Mossner has been a long-standing member of Atlantic City Country Club, and they go there regularly. This isn't a new event. As they arrived at the course, they were warned about potential precipitation and the actual possibility of a snowstorm. As they got ready to tee off, they were directed to go to the 10th and the 11th tee-off boxes for the first two holes, where it started to drizzle a little bit and eventually turned into a very heavy downpour.
As the foursome teed off at the 12th hole, the rain began to let up. While finishing up at the 12th hole, Michael McHugh noticed a lightning strike in the sky, and the foursome and two caddies decided to start approaching the clubhouse to seek shelter, which was only 1/2 mile away.
While the plaintiff was walking towards the clubhouse, he decided to pull out his umbrella to avoid the rain. When they were approximately a mile and a half away, is when actually the lightning struck the plaintiff, and at that moment, one of their friends started doing CPR to the plaintiff. One of the caddies ran to the nearby police station, and the other caddy ran to the clubhouse to seek for help.
Spencer von Mossner, our plaintiff, then filed a complaint in the Supreme Court Law Division, Cayman Court, seeking damages for his significant injuries that he sustained in the incident at the Atlantic Country Club. The various defendants filed a timely answer to plaintiff's complaint, raising inter alia the defenses that they were under no duty to protect the plaintiff from a lightning strike, and that the plaintiff's injuries were the result of an act of God. The defendant then moved for summary judgments, asserting that the plaintiff had not met his burden of establishment and that the defendant created and maintained a dangerous condition on the golf course.
An act of God is a natural hazard outside of human control, for which no person could be held responsible. In this particular case, Atlantic City Country Club claimed for act of God because there was no way that they could have prevented from the plaintiff getting struck by lightning. They refer that they posted signs in the locker rooms and suggested to not play due to the weather conditions that there were at that moment. It helps us better predict natural disasters. So nowadays it's harder to use act of God as a defense in a case due that the technologies that are surging even more for sports, such as predicting tornadoes paths or see where there's a possible lightning strike area, makes it harder for the plaintiff to.
In New Jersey, there is no case precedent in regards to golf courses owning their participants a duty of care with lightning strike. So the courts referred to a similar case in the state of Tennessee in which Hames versus the state of Tennessee awarded the widow of the plaintiff $300,000 for her husband being struck and killed by lightning while golfing. The Supreme Court reversed the appellate court's determination and dismissed the complaint. This court determined that lightning is such a highly unpredictable occurrence that it is unreasonable to expect one person to be able to determine it. Also emphasized that it is reasonable to infer that a reasonably prudent adult can recognize the approach of a severe thunderstorm and know when it is time to pack up and leave before havoc strikes.
The National Athletic Training Association details a 6-step plan to achieve a proper lightning plan. Step 1 is the organization should designate a person with authority to remove participants from the sport. The club achieved this by designating 2 managers to collect the golfers, although they did not reach Messner in time. Step 2 is a weather watcher should be appointed to look for indications of threatening weather. This would be the person that was listening to the radio for storm watches. Step 3 is a method for monitoring the lightning associated for approaching storms, and this would be the club listening to the Weather Advisory Channel and the Naval Aviation Facilities Experimental Center's radio broadcast as well. Step 4 recommends that safe structures for seeking shelter are built, and this is kind of where the club fell short, as the golfers had to walk half a mile to get to the clubhouse, as there was no shelters along the way. Additionally, the golfers were encouraged that if there was severe lightning, they were encouraged to go to nearby residences along the course, although the caddies did not suggest this. Step 5 details specific criteria for suspending and resuming recreational activities and signage put in place, and that you have to stop your recreational activities with any more than 30 seconds between thunder and lightning flashes. And then this related directly to the managerial's position of collecting the golfers from the course, and the caddy should have suggested to return to the clubhouse, although the plaintiff does not recall them doing this. Additionally, there were signs posted telling golfers to seek shelter if they did feel as though they were in danger. And the plaintiff did say that he does not recall seeing these signs, and he thinks that they were put up after the incident. The sixth and final step, it is recommended that lightning safety strategies be implemented, such as requiring staff to maintain a current CPR and first aid certification. And while our case does not specifically state that the caddies or anyone there was trained in CPR, it is assumed that they were not, because the caddy did run to go contact authorities after the incident did happen.
I'm sure all of you have seen a thunderstorm, and I'm also sure that all of you can agree that predicting where a lightning bolt is going to hit the ground is pretty much impossible. Present-day technology has still not been able to predict if a lightning bolt is going to strike a tree, a bush, a car, a pole, or in this case, Spencer Van Mosner. Similar to strikes of lightning, we have other acts of God like tornadoes, where we used to see them as acts of God, and now through technology with satellite imagery and radar modeling, we are able to find essentially the path of a tornado, the severity of the tornado, and the percentage that it could hit a specific location, which has all changed how we view the defense of an act of God. Because before, with an act of God, even if there was negligence on, say, the Atlantic City Country Club, the responsibility would be taken 100% off of them due to an act of God, which was the lightning strike. That has now changed, and if there is partial negligence or any at all, and there is an act of God, depending on the circumstance and the case and the situation, you may not be 100% released of responsibility, and there may still be some fault to the property owner or whatever the situation may be. And I think that has everything to do with new technology. I think because of, like mentioned in Professor Flynn's article, just with the advances, like it's becoming less and less of a unpredictable occurrence, and it's becoming more of something that a destructive path that can be predicted and that we can get ahead of in some cases. We're about 175. What do you think?
I think the watch will be fine.
Yeah, bit too much.
The weather's rolling in, eh? Yeah, there might be a storm coming.
Yeah, hole in one storm.
Good shot.
Nice.
Perfect. Do you see that lightning?
Oh my gosh.
All right, guys. I just saw lightning up there. We should call it.
Yeah.
Back to the clubhouse.
We should go. Let's probably get back to the clubhouse.
Yeah, everything.
Go ahead,
Alright.
Spencer. Be there in a sec. Ready? Spencer, I'm gonna run to the clubhouse. Go to the clubhouse. Go to the clubhouse.
The verdict for this case was that Atlantic City Country Club was not held responsible for the strike of the lightning to the plaintiff due to an act of God, and that they showed signs on the locker room, and one of the caddies suggested that they should go in due to the weather conditions. Uh, the plaintiff appealed to the case, and he got sent back again to see if there were actually proper signs that could tell the players that it was not safe to play in that type of weather conditions, and if that they didn't have any type of shelters or any plan to tell the players if in case of a lightning they should go to the nearby houses instead of running to the clubhouse. What do you think about this verdict?
Personally, I agree with it. I think there were 2 points for me that stand out. One was that, like you mentioned, one of the caddies actually mentioned that they should head back before due to the weather that was, I believe, coming in. What's his name? Spencer Van Mosner denied that this conversation happened. He also denied that the signs were up before before he was struck with lightning. Which I don't know. It seems like he may have been the one that was a bit negligent, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with that. I think that the country club did almost everything correctly. They could have had the shelters put along the way, although they did have the policy of having the caddies bring people towards the homes. So I feel as though lightning's just too unpredictable. And while they did have a standard of care, they couldn't really be at fault for the lightning strike itself.
Also, if like you're a reasonable, capable adult to function, you should know enough when you should go in for inclement weather conditions and decide for yourself. Like in today's age, everyone's so quick to sue everyone for everything, and that's just not fair because then businesses aren't going to be able to function if they get sued for every little thing.
We also need to have an account that this particular case was in 1993, so the type of technology to try to prevent lightning strikes weren't as good as there right now. So because of this case, nowadays we have better ways to protect the golfers and sports fans in general.
All right, so thank you all for your attention, and we hope you learned something about risk management. We're in to win. Have a great day.